place, Nashville Superspeedway, one of the hottest new circle tracks in the South. Well, this weekend, instead of Winston Cup cars, the infield garage is filled with classic Cobras and Shelbys.
The blown and injected Hemi displaces 540 cubic inches and pounds out over 1,000 horsepower. That's the frantic part. The frog part comes from the color and the interior, which is stitched up to include 16 Asian bullfrog skins. This Willys gets my vote for the most radical street rod. And you know what else? It's got me green with envy.
You might be green with envy, but I could go plumb bananas over this yellow and purple uncivic drag car.
Well, no doubt about it, America is the undisputed leader when it comes to big cruisers, and the Japanese clearly dominate four-cylinder superbikes. But when it comes to exotics, you need to go Italian. The best V-twins from Bologna, Noale, and Manella Delario have the sex appeal that make them, well, exotic.
Those Harvey Earl-designed fins look super fine surrounding the shaved trunk, and it's been fitted with one-off Boyd wheels. Inside, the original dash is totally intact, but the seats are custom leather buckets for butt-hugging comfort. Hey, for the fun of it, how about a race between a wheel-standing fire truck and school bus? The driver sees nothing but sky, the chassis has a much better view. Then there's the ever-popular jets, perhaps the least fuel-efficient cars on the planet, but some of the most exciting, particularly at night when they literally light up the skies. A scary ride for the driver? What do you think?
Every time you get in the car, you're scared, and you should be scared. If you're not scared, you shouldn't be driving these cars. When the parachutes come out is actually the worst. It will pull a negative 4.5 to 5 Gs when the parachutes hit. And that's pretty violent.
The SCCA's World Challenge Road Racing Division is a national series for production-based classes, and they only allow cars built between 1997 and 2003 with mostly stock exteriors. So, what makes them race cars?
Well, obviously it's the roll cage. You can see the seat, you can see the gutted interior, but what's really tricky about these things is what's under the skin. I mean, the suspensions are totally modified. They can actually move the mounting points about 1 inch. So that way they can lower the car and still keep the geometry so that the handling is conserved, so you have kind of good handling. They can balance the car the way they want, and they also can replace the brakes, because stock production brakes will tend to overheat in racing conditions. So you look at a lot of these cars, they have very large brake rotors and big 4-piston calipers.
The water-cooled 52-degree 5-speed uses exterior push rods instead of overhead cams to keep the bike's center of gravity low.
Even though it's an extremely heavy motorcycle, it still has a lot of acceleration from all that torque.
Everything about this belt drive monster is big.
They're running a 200mm wide rear tire on a 16-inch rim. It's aesthetically a good-looking tire, and it also is able to deal with the torque of this motorcycle.
Selecting the winner of the Cycle News 125 shootout falls on a diverse test team.
Pro rider's looking for something completely different than, say, a beginner or a novice. So we do try very hard to have a mix of riders.
In the late 60s, AMC was completely out of touch with young car buyers. Buyers who wanted power under the hood and performance on the street. Enter the Image Changer. That's what American Motors nicknamed their new AMX in '68.